century. We need to take advantage of it. I don't have to go to work every day. Even when I didn't work before I retired, my husband took care of me. And my son and my husband both, I keep playing with this, made sure that I had two top notch systems to start out with so that I actually have another set for a guest. I have yet to find a guest. And he's trying to get my studio ready. And at this point, I'm not sure I should have a studio. I mean, yeah, I don't mean to malign anyone. I love and adore all of you who've been so kind to me, and subscribed and liked. And I can't tell you how much that means to me because without you guys, there is no channel. Not just no channel. There's no voice. There's no other voice to be heard about the things that we should be a part of. Now, apparently, the Senate has been made, and you know I don't like politics, but the Senate, good grief, excuse me, the stuff is raining down on us, so we're getting worse instead of better with our sinuses. Uh, the House has made the Senate kind of void null. I don't know how they did it. They were trying to impeach Mayorkas, who's been in charge of Homeland Security on the border, when he let 11 million people in that they know of. I'm 40. They're really horrific thing I've seen, and I'm trying not to make fun of nothing. I'm just saying I saw this coming when they were burning down police cars. I'm like, who you going to think's coming when you call 911? Do you have a gun? Do you know how to use a gun? What kind of gun is it? Does it have bullets? This is New York City. This is DC. This is Seattle. This is San Francisco. Do you have those defenses? What stores do you shop at? They burned them all down around you. They beat up cars and turned them over on their hoods. Did the insurance pay for that? So they don't have. Mine always says they don't have to pay for the act of God. I love that line. That's just I sued him. And yes, indeed, I won. That's what insurance is freaking for. Not to mention they don't give any back. But apparently they made the Senate inept and null and void. I don't know how you want to put it because they're hot under the collar. Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz, he don't have too many filters. I like him. I like DeSantis too. Don't have any filters. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Skin color doesn't matter in America. It shouldn't matter anywhere. And they say the same thing. I was watching Muslims break down the doors, run past the cops, three of them with, as they say now, long guns, which they just had by the strap and watched. And these were Muslims, you could tell by the women's headdresses, as they went in with hammers and broke the glass and shoved everything into these big bags. And they turned around and left. And this is almost every day at every store in New York City, especially the high end, Dior, so forth and so on. They are there's, and I knew Walgreens was going to leave. And the Walgreens pretty much seems to be New York City's place to go for toothpaste, things like that. When they were burning these down, I was like, when are you going to wake up to the fact that you can't get diapers, your friends can't get milk, you can't get makeup? And the other thing I thought was fascinating is that what they do steal, they're selling on the different markets you can hit on Facebook and so forth, and they're selling it. So they're stealing it from the retail owners and on camera, in front of cops, and nobody stopped them. And off they went. So and they have squatters' rights. They're in some of the most native. I mean, in San Francisco, they got some pretty homes. In LA, they got some awesome mansions. If I knew I could do a squatters thing, I'd have left years ago. I'd have went to Windsor. If you're going to squat, get a castle. Go big. So that has been something that I thought, okay, show of hands, who didn't think that would happen? Yeah, nobody. They all knew it was going to happen. This is what I want to talk about before they stop us. Eventually, they're going to stop us because they don't. They have the media in their control. If you have actually seen a news report on any of these supposed news networks, please send it to me in the comments. I want to see that. I will pay good money to see that. To see any supposed news channel report the news. It's not hard. It's one job. Not hard. Walter Cronkite seems was our last reporter for the news. I mean, he didn't. The only time I saw him tear up, and I'm not a young woman, was when President Kennedy was killed. And I researched that for 30 years, and now suddenly instead of two seats in the car, there's three. There was always only two. I did 10 years of investigation on this. And then I did 2 more years of investigation on it when I went to DC and was working there. And there's all kinds of gaping holes. I saw the pictures of him at the hospital where they showed the wounds and so forth, how much damage had been done. Somebody damaged him further after he'd been placed in the coffin to see if they, I guess, erase the path that these two bullets had taken in his head. And you could clearly see this. You didn't even, you don't need to have a medical degree to know which way those paths of those bullets went. One was behind, the other one was to the side. So no, nobody did this. If he'd been shot in the face, that would have been the book suppository. This has been, argued for 40 years or more. They killed his son. When his son started George, it seems like they might have warned him. And George took off and he decided to run for Senate. And he didn't live long after he threw his hat in the ring. And they made sure his wife, who was carrying the heir of John Jr., would die as well. The only one left is Caroline. Now, I thought it was odd that they were looking for this child, and he was a child to me. I'll never forget the salute uh, as his father's camouflage went by. They had Jackie swear in. She had to be at the swearing in the plane with her husband's body returning. She had to swear so he could go. He would be president when they landed. She was still wearing the blood-stained clothing that she was wearing when the attack hit. They never even found her hat. But she didn't even think of changing it, or she didn't have time. What was the deal that Johnson wanted sworn in so fast as president? Technically, he was immediately made president, but he wanted the swearing in, so he did this on the plane. Jackie's still in shock, but somebody got to Jackie. Somebody got to Jackie Kennedy because she picked them kids up and was gone in like a day to New York. Now, Caroline, it seemed, I'm not sure, she married a man of Jewish persuasion. She's been happily married for a long time, has a couple kids. And John Jr. had flown this path to Martha's Vineyard hundreds, if not thousands of times. And he was an adept pilot. And he did not have a desponder so they could find the plane. At least that's what they said. I believe John Jr. would have had every available new gadget ever on there because he had the money to do so, and he wanted to be safe. He had his wife, who was pregnant, and his sister-in-law with him. He wouldn't have shipped something off because he had passengers. It wasn't just him. And they said he found the flight path. Well, yeah, there's one flight path basically that he had ever used. I mean, if he hadn't put one down there, then check last month, and it was a straight thing to Martha's Vineyard. It's like what, an hour flight or something. It's just, it's nothing. They're looking all over here and there and here, and not one of them went looking on the flight path. Not one. And suddenly, the debris was splashing up on the shoreline. And then they decided they'd look there. They were all still strapped in their seats. I don't know what happened, but it happened fast. It broke my heart to see. Same with Diana. They were both killed. I don't care if it's a conspiracy or whatever you want to call it, but if you do enough looking into things, and in John Jr.'s case, it was like 30 odd years I studied his father's death, and then it was time to study his. And the weirder thing, besides that they didn't go anywhere near his flight path, which is exactly where he was, it'd take 10 minutes to find him, and the bodies were recovered. And suddenly, this battle cruiser, which is out there supposedly looking, is back because Caroline wants to make sure that she spreads their ashes where they were found. Okay, come on, show of hands. Who thinks that's not strange? Yeah, it's very strange. Why would she think her brother or sister in law, I guess both would be sisters in law, and the baby to come would want to be placed where they were murdered? Even if it was an accident, let's say, okay, so a place they died at. Why? I never heard anybody ask any questions. I haven't seen Caroline Kennedy since she was 5 until that day. And there was a blurred photo of her dumping some stuff. There was a lot of PO'd people, I'll tell you what. And yeah, I'm sure there's a conspiracy around it, but to me, there's no conspiracy. They killed them. Same with Diana. Diana told everybody, they're going to kill me in a car accident. They're going to make it look like a car accident. He wants to marry Kyle. Boom, she's dead. In her case, I might not have believed that had they got her out of the vehicle and taken her the 2 miles to the hospital in less than 5 hours. Look it up. You just can't make that shit up. And people are going, oh, yeah, she died in the car. Of course she did. She had grievous injuries. She was bleeding both probably internally and externally. And they lay in there for 5 hours before they get her to a 2 mile away hospital. Yeah. So I never bought that. But I don't like her brother at all. And for very good reasons, which we won't go into here. I saw that it looks like Dubai is recovering from all this rain. They got more rain in one day than they had in 2 or 3 years, and it didn't go anywhere. It just seems to be that there's also a cattle shortage over there. So the Mid East and I think Africa as well is included in this. So most people think Egypt is its own country, yes, but it's on a continent and it's called Africa. So it's kind of an influence, right across from there is Jerusalem. In case people don't know where, are not up on their geography. I don't know what the hell they teach in school nowadays. I ain't seen anything. It's just to me. I was shocked when I first saw it. Like I was like, all they could do was run around the gym where the basketball court was and kind of do calisthenics, I think, and then of course the basketball players and then you had the football players. That was it. There was no music. There was no art. These kids had to be bored stupid. I was the kind of mother that would look at their work, and see that they were catching up or if they needed help. And this stuff was like for third graders. It was horrific. And still, Georgia's like 28 or something on the scale of education. It's beyond a disgrace at this point. Georgia should be ashamed, and they should be embarrassed by the rigor that they're doing these kids in, and not allowing the parents to take their voices be heard. I'll say it that way. If they do try to have their voices heard, they better get it from the jailhouse because that's where they go. They don't. They don't. They don't discriminate. You say something about this, that, or the other, either a lecture or they had a Muslim prayer man or whatever it is. And they drag you out kicking and screaming. I'd have had a problem. I must have been at that high school with my kids at least 2, 3 times a year. You're not peddling that. And if you do, I'll go to court. So I want to find out. And tomorrow morning, what you've put in its place. And by God, it would be changed. And generally the teacher as well, depending how stupid they were with me. Because I can go first to the teacher. I didn't want to bother them. Parents don't have time for this nonsense. We don't want to spend time on that nonsense. We do, however, want our children educated. We do pay taxes. We pay this on every property tax that's out there. So there's tax money rolling in. What are they doing with it? Going to the Bahamas? Like Fanny? Did she check her mattress? I mean, it's Fulton County. I'm surprised 30 people has not showed up, broke down her door, and tossed her mattress. I'm really surprised. Makes me laugh every time I hear it. You know, it makes me laugh is Hillary Clinton. God, what a mess that woman is. Anybody stands by your man kind of thing, and he's been having affairs, solid affairs that they have to pay off for 30 odd years. And she's, yeah, she's still happy. Mm. You gotta wonder behind the scenes what was going on because I've heard it wasn't that happy. No, it wasn't. But servants, her, even her guards were not to be seen by her. They didn't exist. If they heard her coming or knew she was coming, they stepped into a closet, they walked into a different room. I mean, wow, what the hell was she supposed to be anyway? Oh, yeah, First Lady. Yeah, I'm sure. Personally, I don't believe that she was a lady at all. If lady walked up and bit her, she wouldn't know it was a lady. I'm just saying. She had no class, no style. She's a traitor. She's treasonous. She's most believe, and I tend to think so too, responsible for several murders. No, this is not a normal woman at all. But I would have paid good money to see her face when she found out Kamala Harris was given the vice presidency. Whenever I get into press mode, I just think of Hillary's face finding out. I did not like that woman, still don't like that woman. And I dislike him as well. But I dislike her. He's not running the things. He's never been smart enough to do that. She's Hillary Rodham Clinton. Anybody look up the name Rodham? Yeah, she's old school money. Old school. So yeah, she was running the show. They left broke. They got there broke. Funny, they spent $4 million on their daughter's wedding a few years later. Yeah, they made that compound for them to live in, rip more people off. Looked like they had money to me. Too many conspiracy theories. I tend to want to say something about them because I don't want to talk about what the blooming blazes is wrong with this country. And for that matter, what is the UN doing? Why are they not disbanded? Why don't they have to give the money back? You heard one, you heard all of us. That's the UN's whole thing. They got one job. And they haven't done it that I've seen in 65 years. And I wasn't a stupid kid. I was reading college level at 9. It's not like it was rocket science, you know? No, this problem wasn't. They gave Iran plutonium. Did anybody not catch that in the news? Anybody? Show a hand. No, I guess they didn't. I caught it. And I was like, are you just going to give them the missiles to hit people or just the plutonium? Those two are the treachery and traitorry that was in your face crap started with them. Reagan was the last good president that we had that they couldn't control, so he suddenly developed Alzheimer's and was never allowed to speak again publicly because he pretty much got he wanted Star Wars, and those missiles aren't pointing down, they're pointing up. So he knew there was something coming at us, and they shut him. I mean, they gagged that man so fast he was about halfway through his speech. And it was time to get him out of there, just like they do Sleepy Joe. And I still think that some service guy, guard, whatever, is standing by the door where you can get to the bathroom going, "Over here, Mr. President." I've been in the Oval Office, and there are doors in there. You can't tell. It's a wall. You can't tell. But there are there. And that's how the president will exit, like into his own quarters and things like this. So no, they're not. You can't tell they're there. You gotta do things and so forth and so on. It's like national treasure. We'll give it that. So you could actually get in and out, and they wouldn't know. And so you gotta wonder. For me, anyway, it's always been comical to think, how the hell does Joe know where the bathroom is? It's right there too. And they did remodel. So and I was there many moons ago. So I shouldn't laugh, but it's laugh or cry. They have I think people have forgotten the Clintons gave us to China. Okay, then Obama gave all of say the operators that answer for Amazon and other things like people that rip you off and you have to get a new card, things like that. They go, no, they answered your question, bank. These are not polite people, and I love the ones that say they're Chuck. Those from the nation of India have a beautiful voice. All of them do. It's a sing-song type voice, and it's totally detectable. So he can say his name is Chuck all day long. The only thing I'm going to do is laugh my ass off. So we've all done this. We've all had to call. And it's funny, and they're so rude. It's just amazing. A few still are in the United States. I don't know how long that will happen to last. If you get Trump, who pulls back those taxes, we might get some of these back. I mean, but it's like Levi's. I quit wearing Levi's in the 80s because they moved to Mexico. Screw you. The Mexicans can buy them. People don't know where they come from. If you look at a label before you buy it, it's made in China, it's made in Taiwan. It's not made in America. The only ones that are American made, and they say there's a big sign, made in America, because people don't even look. They're not even aware. So I don't buy Levi's. There's certain things I can't abide, and they're still doing it. And I always Ollie's. I like Ollie's. They're cool. They got a bunch of cheap stuff. I'm a cheap shopper. What the hell? I'm not taking it with me. So I'm throwing it in because I'm at this point it is entertainment purposes only, and I'm it because there's not much to report on. There's let's see, we had the missile barrage 2 days ago or three, and everybody was going, "When's Iran going to retaliate?" Like it was a given. It was. Wish I was 20. I'd be over there. Hit him again. I personally think the Gaza Strip should be nothing but pebbles, like Berlin in 1945. Yeah, not a building. They don't do it. They don't deserve it. And like I said, there's more than that this man who's in the Oval Office will say is responsible for. They are killing people. These people that come across the border, nobody knows where they are, where they're going, what they're doing. They're killing people. They're raiding stores 4 and 5 at a time, and they're not raiding Walgreens all the time, but they do. But no, they're hitting those high-end stores, those $400 pair of shoes, and then they're selling them. So desperate people do not do that. People who come to our country from a war-torn, Bosnia is a good example. And I met a young lady from Bosnia, and she worked for 12 years. 12 years. 2 jobs. She went to the education place where you go and study before you can become an American citizen and be sworn in. It took her 12 years. 12 years. And she had escaped. She had been captured with her children and put in a concentration camp. She escaped. And somehow she was smuggled to the American shores. And yet, instead of giving her instant asylum, which she should have had, instant asylum. Now, being American would be a different thing, but asylum is a very good start when you got two babies and you've been fighting for your life for a year and a half. Where was the UN there? Oh, yeah, they were there. They had rubber bullets. They were so effectual. Yes, they were. When are the rest of you coming up here? I need you to talk to me. I need you to tell me I'm not crazy. I need you to tell me that this is not a waste of time because I've heard enough from those who are my so called friends. And yeah, I don't give up. It's important for us to stand up and go, what the hell? And I don't know about y'all, but if they was doing that crap to Walmart or Walgreens or whatever in the South, they wouldn't need to wait for a sheriff. These guys got rifles and shotguns in the rack on the back of their truck. We got the women, same as me, concealed to carry. I will shoot you between the eyes before I will see a child hurt. And I've repeatedly said, if you have a concealed carry permit, carry. Because the life you save, odds are, is not going to be your own. It's going to be four kids because they got pinned down. Or it's going to be a mother with two kids because they got pinned down or because they want it to look bad. They're going to shoot the innocent. Somebody has to lay down a line of fire. The last one I saw did a damn good job. He had a license to carry. And a young lady did the same thing. They had a weapon on this girl on the ground and were going to shoot her. And she shot him. She reached in her purse and she got it. She shot him twice. And then she moved over and kicked that gun out of the way and finally picked it up. But that woman on the ground did not get shot because that lady had a concealed carry and shot that puppy twice. Now, if I'd have double tapped him, he just needed a body bag. I don't play. Eye for an eye. You let these sons of go. You let them go. And then another young child walking with her father in New York City Park is shot down and murdered. Didn't need that nurse. And then the president mispronounces her name on top of it. It's just, this is why I get crazy about politics. But my advice is to arm yourself, get extra ammo, take the classes, get a concealed permit, use it. My other advice is to hit a laser sight on that sucker. Most of us at this age who are willing to get a concealed carry, because they're not getting my weapons until they kill me. And now I'll take a lot of them with me. It's amazing what you can do to booby trap a house. They should have learned at Waco, going off in Waco with a tank against women and children. This was not Jim Jones. Put it that way. Nobody was drinking the poison Kool-Aid. They fought back because they tried to kill him and did kill him. They threw the rest in jail for the rest of their lives, 20 years, whatever. Look it up. If you got a question, put it in the live comments. If you like it, please hit the bell, hit the like. If you don't like it, bite me, but kiss the dislike anyway. I mean, I've had a day and it's just starting. I managed to get, because like I said, Robert's off, but he has tons to do. So I said, we'll do the divide and conquer. You do this much, I'll do this much, and we'll be all right. And so I was the one that got to run to the store. And bless him, he's still trying to get caught up with everything else. And I managed to scoot out and scoot back before the bad weather hit. I do not like traveling anywhere in the rain. I had a bad accident once, and car got away from me. It was Robert's car. It was a great car. Oh, he put so much work into it. The guy's a genius when it comes to cars. Anyway, if something happened to my husband, well, they need to dig two holes. It doesn't matter if we fuss or whatever. Love is still love. You're not always going to get along. But if they take my husband, I'm coming too. Just saying, dig two holes. Um, but I would have to get things straightened out before I joined him. And I always said, I quit driving. The minute something happens to my to my husband, I don't drive anymore. I only drove because he wanted me to drive, and he keeps me in a car that's paid for, and a very nice car that's paid for. And he does all the maintenance. He checks it to make sure that it's safe. You know, I can't replace him, and I don't intend to try. And so, therefore, the car would be sold because I'm not going to let it fall apart. And he laughs, but every time he gets me a new car, I can't ever remember the sign where the gas tank is. I know there's a little bitty thing that points to. I still don't know. And it's just like I don't get where I am. I get lost in 2 seconds. You put me in my backyard, turn me around 3 times. I think I'm in Alabama. And he puts up with all of that. He's 4 years older than me, but he did beat stage 4 cancer. I only beat stage 2, and I didn't tell anybody. I had to have major surgery and so forth. And my husband was already working like 8 to 14 days. He would be out, and had I told him, he would have been there. And it was a lot of time. I had massive surgery, and I had to have a lot of time to recover. But he was on the road and he didn't know. And I didn't tell my son, didn't tell anybody. And I would have had I not been able to do, you know, my daily thing. I might have been in a little bit of pain or a lot of pain. But the surgery was extensive, very extensive. And I didn't like that idea, but I had two choices. So we went with the do the extensive surgery, and I just didn't want him to worry. I didn't want to miss work, and these things, even though they want you to do that, this is through the VA in Durham. You still don't get this done. Oh, it'll be next week. It might be next year if you're lucky. Mine was pretty quick. I got to admit, it was pretty quick, and I had 2 follow-ups, and then I had 2 more surgeries because it wasn't quite gone. But I did come out and technically in remission. So is my husband, as far as that goes. So he doesn't let me do a heck of a lot when I'm at home. He's very sweet about that, and I don't want him doing anything. And I'm really glad that he's not on the road. Now, I mean, I can handle that being a veteran. That wasn't the problem, or him not being here. That wasn't a problem. He was doing what he wanted to do, what he was damn good at, and he taught others to drive. And they're still his friends today on Facebook, and I've met a few of them. They'd never have made it had Robert not been their trainer. So I mean, but it's nice to know that when I wake up, he's not gone, or that he has to get ready to leave at 3, and it won't be back for a week and a half or whatever. Because people are nuts when they drive lately. I've watched the police stops and they don't have to have a license. That's the new thing. They don't have to have a driver's license. I love this part of it because they are not driving a commercial vehicle. They are absolutely sure of this. They're arguing with this like 6'3" cop. And he's trying to tell him these idiots won't get out. you know, you're gonna get out, you gotta roll the window down, I'm gonna break the window. And like they won't break that window. They break that window. And all of it's over. They won't even show any ID. They and almost every time it's a ticket is what they would get. But they don't cooperate. They attack. They don't listen. They're privileged. They know the law and they're filming. I love that. Usually drunk. But I mean, I don't know where this new thing has come from. This constitutional rights. Yes, we have constitutional rights. However, when the founding fathers wrote this, they had a horse and buggy. And even then, they wouldn't have said, oh, that buggy hit that biggie. Don't worry about it. They would have straightened it out. It would have been paid for without robbing you for year after year when you don't have an accident. And if you do, then you owe them some more. It's fantastic. You gotta love it. Let's see. There was another one I was going to talk about. Everybody knows you don't get your unemployment back either. You don't get your insurance back either. Government says you got to pay them. Government does not say you get that money back. Anybody wonder why? Show of hands. I got time. Here in here somewhere. Yeah, no. There's no rule, regulation, law, nothing like that. Just says you've paid insurance for 20 years and never gotten a ticket. We're giving you three quarters back. Oh, hell no. Government done got that. It's what lobbyists do. My ex-mother-in-law used to get so crazy with me because I'd be up there talking to the lobbyists. Go, aren't you ashamed? And she'd be freaking, she was that way like me. We both were used to running our divisions or whatever. And so she would freak out at me a little bit. Would like to go to McDonald's, floppy hat glasses. Don't want anybody to see her. And at the time, I didn't want to drive and didn't have a license. And again, it was in a major city. So you took a cab, you took mass transit, you did all of that stuff before you bothered your mother-in-law for a ride. Now, in the mornings, we're going, and we worked together. Oh, that's what's wrong with you. We're hitting the wrong button. There we go. Okay, I was like, some of them come in louder than others. I just want some background. In any event, if there's something you guys want to talk about, I say this every day. I'm not going away. I'm going to be here all next week. I feel for you, I really do. Yeah, not sorry, Wanda. So we have a lot of cowards doing retail. I call it retail theft. Yeah, I love that. Squatters have lights and big screen TVs. You can't make this shit up. Like, damn, we're paying how much for a mortgage payment? Let's go next door. There's nobody there. Let's go be squatters for a couple of years. You can't blame them. I mean, they're coming here and this is supposed to be the law that governs the land. If you're a squatter, you can be there for all this time or whatever. It's technically yours because there's an old adage: finders keepers, losers weepers. That's what I was thinking of. And it's driving them crazy. Florida immediately put. It's going to drive me crazy. Florida immediately enacted laws against squatters' rights. There are not. He didn't leave many. I like that, man. I sure wish they keep busting Martha's Vineyard, though, or Nancy Pelosi's front yard. I'd pay money to watch that shit. Mm. So at the moment, he's catching up on his stuff. I'm trying to catch up. I don't think I will. I worked until like 7 o'clock last night, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, shampooing, Swiffering, dusting, chasing cats. He worked until 7 or 8 o'clock doing breaks and stuff for a friend of his. And of course, they are going to pay him, whether he charges or not, they're going to pay him. And that's a good thing. As he puts it, his wife spends too much money. He's probably right. At my age, at this point, I could be dead tomorrow. I care. People walk around, they're so scared they're going to die. They want to live forever, and I'm like, did you see Stephen Hawking to the end? You think at 102 you're going to be like this? Trust me, you're not. Let me move this off my live chat here. Okay. So, again, I'm going to point out that I can't do this without you guys. Join me at the bar. Give me some insight. Give me a hand. If you're from New York, if you're from DC, I don't care if you're from the moon. Jump on here and tell us what's going on. I've seen some horrific things going on in state after state after state. Texas is is killing me. I love Texas, and I always wanted to be there. And I was lucky enough to get Texas. I was assigned to Fort Sam Houston, and I loved it so much. I went back 6 times, gave up huge uh, government positions, especially in DC, to go back to Texas. Now, I have not gone back this time. My husband has the right as well to say he's not going to go to Texas or he doesn't want to move, whatever. And at this point, we would be in more danger if we went to San Antonio. And personally, I don't think I'd be in danger, or my husband either. He's a crack shot. He can shoot the flies off an ant 100 paces away. That means he's an expert shot. I'm a fairly good shot with a laser, and lately I haven't done that. Um, but I do advise everybody else to do that because you can call 911 to your blue. By then, they have done stolen things, killed your dog. Watch John Wick. Mm. Don thinks this is why Robert lets me have him. I can hit it 2 or 3 times. It's gone. It's out. And he knows that, it's like my vape. He keeps my vapors for me and give me a different set if that one goes. He's been very good about that. Of course, that's probably because I'm an absolute witch without him. So he knows. Um, let's see, what else was I going to tell you this morning that I had seen? They did speak and the retail stuff that's going on, folks, especially in DC, New Jersey, areas like that. It hasn't gotten this far down yet. I think they realize that the South keeps a lot of weapons on hand. I mean, literally on hand. So, you try that, and the store owner's going to fill you full of buckshot. You might not want to do that a second time. It's so bad that that's what they're doing to our country, and they did it to us on purpose. How do you screw up a country? Well, you screw them up from within. So you got squatters, you got outright theft at every store. Doesn't matter. It could be a pita store, and they sell tacos. They get them too. There's, they don't have a particular one they want. They just go and take what they want, when they want, where they want, and that's it. Take it back to their tent and sell it. What is this thing short of city crap? Is it a civil war? Because from what I understood, that's secession. Okay, I've got a sanctuary city here. No, no, you've left the union and we're going to come in and kick your ass till Monday. That's what I thought. I guess they didn't really teach us the same things in school after all. So I don't know anymore. See, my timer's coming up. So I got up here and vented for a while, which is supposed to be the whole idea of this. We're supposed to be able to get up here and say, idiots, we do back police. And if we don't, then we're about to join what's going on in LA, what's going on in New York, what's going on in Seattle, what's going on in New Jersey. Pick a state, pick a city is coming our way. And the reason I pointed out that there were Muslims in two of the things that I showed, 2 videos that I saw, it was only Muslims. There weren't, with the headscarves and the burqas. You can't see their face, you can't see their figure, so they can't be facial identified either. And they were in there getting the high end perfume and stuff like this. So we know that the Muslims are thieves as well. So you have a lot of thieves, you got a lot of murderers, you got a lot of terrorists, which is what all that really falls under. So when does America retaliate? Anybody? Show of hands. Yeah, I don't know either. But it's time for all of us to talk about it and say, excuse me, maybe we should form a militia. Maybe the National Guard should be installed. Well, Governor Abbott of Texas tried that. They didn't like that. Well, they could have kissed my fat patootie. I mean, that's his right as a governor to mobilize the National Guard. They respond only to the governor, superseded only if the Capitol is in danger. Trust me, the only danger the Capitol is in is everybody laughing it to the ground because they know it's just tourists and terrorists activities. Basically, they're treason is what we call it. Terrorist is what it falls under. It just does. You've got supposedly a president that for 20, 30 years has been taking money from China, the Ukraine, and filtering it through 6 banks to 9 relatives. Well, aren't you smart? Bunch of dummy companies that runs through those dummy companies before it gets them 6 banks. What's the old adage? Follow the money. Follow the money. Well, they did. And they tried to get rid of what's his name, Hunter's laptop, but there were copies. I love that part. I love that part. My other thing is, well, everybody knows I would have paid good money to see Hillary's face when the giggle girl got the vice president. See, that was just priceless. I mean, just priceless. And I would have paid good money to see her face. I don't like that woman. I never did like that woman. I didn't like that woman when she was the governor's wife. And they were paying off Jennifer Flowers because she had been his side piece for 10 years while he was governor. And she's standing there. There's not a woman, I don't think, on the planet at that time, I'm sure, that didn't want to reach out and slap the piss out of her. Made every woman look bad in the world, not just in the U.S. I see I've got some coming up. Well, come on in. Don't be afraid. If they come in, they come in. No way, ain't shit we can do. And I wouldn't be able, I don't think, to pull the trigger against a soldier, my military. I don't think I could do that. If they were going to shoot my grandkids' kids, yeah, maybe. I'm for something to immobilize, not kill. But at the same time, you got to decide: are they soldiers? Or are they terrorists? Are they assassins? They fall in these lines. They really do. You can't chase like Osama bin Laden to ground and find him in a cave with some women unarmed, shoot him and throw him in the ocean, which you know is a violation of all of their religious beliefs. That's assassination. That is not being a military soldier. That's not. It's just not. You can't find a way to explain to me that my soldiers did this. Now, our assassins, I buy. You know, oh, it was SEAL Team 6. I don't care if you call it Country 4, it was still assassination. And it was vicious. Even after the man was dead, he's been living in a cave. I don't even know what all that's about. Don't care to. My point is, once they found him, they assassinated him, and this was not. I don't care if they can call it a military incursion all goddamn day long. It ain't. You got these guys that are well trained to take on whole battalions with 6 or 7 of them. I know. I'm a veteran. So you jump in a cave with 4 women and a dude, and you shoot him up, throw him in the ocean. You knew it wasn't proper for their religious beliefs. Why'd you have to throw him in the ocean too? He's dead. And then go around on TV and brag about it. Oh my God. At no point did none of you say, gee, this sounds like assassination, not a military exercise. No, you didn't. She kept going for like 3 or 4 years. And it made me ashamed to be a veteran. I'm still ashamed to be a veteran if that's what it's come to. Oh, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get that guy. That's not military. That's assassination. It's assassins. Read. Pick it out for yourself. It's not rocket science. So come see me. I'm still the lady hippie at the bar. They haven't shot me yet, but they have been contemplating it. And blow out the tire. I'm good. Life, you can't get out of life alive. I say this all the time. You just can't. But you can make what you live the best you can. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have hurdles. You're not going to be crying in a corner so hard because they can't catch your breath because somebody has sucker punched you so hard you can't breathe and you're just sobbing. You have to work through it. Just nobody to help. Oh, these psychiatrist things. Tried that. Got worse. No, you got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and keep going. That's an American. Not the United States. It's an American. And there's a distinct difference. And if I had time, I'd go into what that difference really was. But I'm going to let you guys look that up and find it for yourselves. I don't believe really in dropping other people's videos. That's their work. And their channel is just as precious to them as my channel is. So, but if you want and you can't find something and you want to know about it, you tell me. I'll find it, or I'll hire somebody who can. And it's a small space. Yes, it is. It doesn't need to be much bigger for me to reach out. And yeah, that little hair that's on my glasses drive me stupid. It's not a fur drive. And I love getting, as you can tell, I'm always giggly. My husband says, they never think you're really sick because you're giggling. And it's kind of like, I guess, a reflex thing with me. Um, if I'm nervous, maybe that's it. When I was a young child, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't talk to you. It was like I was deaf, dumb, and blind. I just look at you. In my head, I'm going, God, you're an idiot. What are you, 40? I used to think the adults were so stupid, but it wasn't that. It wasn't just that. Mind you, these were World War II parents. So they'd seen World War One, Depression, World War II come out, and then they're going to take all your money. That's when all the taxation, Social Security, all that came out. My dad wanted to hunt them down one at a time. And I didn't understand it at the time until I actually went to work and I got my check and I was looking forward to getting this check, $98 is going like, what the? They do not warn you ahead of time that they're going to steal this money and they're never giving it back. And they don't like the fact that, especially my generation, has found out that I didn't get my unemployment, never used it, so I want my money. No, that's not going to work. They seem to understand only that insurance takes money. They don't give it back. You haven't hit a ticket in 30 years? Well, they ain't going to give that back. They can't give the half back? Well, no. Well, yeah, you made it a government edict and you had no trouble enforcing this. So why don't you have no trouble in enforcing the fact that they've got money that they stole from us? They don't give it back. When are people going to stand up and say, I've had a damn enough? Knock it off. Give me back my money. It's not going to happen. Most of us you can't fight City Hall. But I do believe those subjects, if they kept coming up, they may still have seen some of mine taken down because of this very matter. So I really hoped that I could reach out to others and that we could all talk about the fact that the government is stealing from the baby boomers so fast that we can't even buy tuna to feed ourselves, let alone our cat. It's enough. It's enough. If they could impeach Nixon because he was recording people in the Oval Office, but they can't arrest Joe Biden for 50 years of graft using his office and making billions for himself and his entire family, and they know this. But he's not competent enough to stand trial. He's competent enough to keep the codes to the nuclear weapons. But he's, what? So I'm like, where are the rest of the people that feel like I do? Don't be afraid. Step out. Step out. Buck up. Put your damn boots on. Get up. Because we all got kids. And we've all got grandkids. And a lot of us have great grandkids. They can't speak like this because they don't know any better. My grandson does, but that's because I always stuck him watching things like, he says it today that he finished school because grandma was like, after he finished cleaning, he got in trouble at home. They sent it to me. And so that's the way it went. You cleaned and then here you're watching what grandma's watching. Before phones became smartphones in 2010. Smartphones, my ass. Mine rings, I answer, I'm good to go. It's a freaking phone. Now my husband, I mean, when he was a driver, just up until this year, he's doing this all on the computer as well as drive and teach. And I wouldn't try it. I ran a whole divisions. I wouldn't try that because I won't take my eyes off the road. I do not drive at night. I found that I was slightly impaired, and I didn't want to hurt someone else, for God's sake. And so my keys are hung up by 4 in the afternoon. My husband knows this. My children know this. Even my hairdresser knows. We got to get done with her so she can get home before dark. And I don't mean, dusk. I mean daylight. And I park those keys. And if there's any other vision impairments that I find, my husband tells me my perception is off a little bit in the front, which I agree with because I've seen how I park and I've been two places. I can see really well. I can see fine, in distance. It's closer that I have problems with, and I don't know if those of you have seen me have noticed, but I had 2 eye surgeries to put in 2 artificial lenses. It's kind of wild, really, because I always had hazel eyes. And hazel's like a mood ring. That's what I said. You can see if they were mad or happy, or I mean, my eyes would be cloudy gray or bright green or like a forest green. It depended on my mood. Now they're just bright green, and everybody's noticed. How I mean, and they are bright green. You really you can tell. But they do work fairly well, and I am grateful that the VA was able to take care of that for me because I couldn't see basically hardly with glasses. So it's helped a lot. I understand these things have to be gone over about every 5 years. I didn't think I'd make it to 35, so it's up in the air right now. I'm not sure I want to make another year. The only problem I have is that I have grandchildren that are still young. Our Ezra is already trained. Our Lily is almost out of high school. This is on my stepdaughter's side. And Eli is coming up, and he's still like my granddaughter. On my son's side, Zoe, they're still in like grade school, heading to high school. And so, for their sake, I don't want to go anywhere. But there's nothing I can do to protect them either. And unfortunately, I have very limited interaction with both of them. So it's different than our older grandkids because our older grandkids spent more time, and like my grandson on my son's side spent constant time under me or his granddad. So he was always with granddad basically. He was grandpaps. He was papa's. Yeah, that was his thing. Still is. I don't blame him. But again, I'm going to ask everybody. I got to get off. I say I got to get off. I did not have much except for ranting and raving again today. And I beg your pardon for that. And I really do pray that you guys are going to stop in, hit the live chat. It's Sunday. If you get time, since I'm going off the air in a minute or so, throw it in the comments. I do check and I do answer. I seem to have more comments after live chat. So yes, I promise you mean the world to me. I can't do this without you. This channel would not exist if I didn't have you. I need more of you, though. I need a lot more of you. No, we're not going to do the Boston Tea Party. I don't like ships and I don't like water. But we can talk the hell about it. We can say, what the hell? What the? It's this one. It's that one. I need a sounding board. Or I'll listen to you. I'm looking for everything, anything, and everything to be discussed. And there are a couple of channels that are like mine, but not quite. So I'm going to get off for right now because I have to go. My husband's busy. But everybody out there, stay safe. Know that you are so appreciated. Hugs all around. I mean, seriously. I wish I could meet all of you. And the best I can do is to meet you through here. So hit the like button, tickle that bell, put a comment in there. She's ugly. Shut her up. Pick one. But please come see me. Come see me while we could do this. And I can't swear to you how long that will be because, as I've noted, several of mine have been pulled down. So you're really going to have to look. You have to go in and search and put in Lady Hippie. Mind you, if you get YouTube and you're not used to it, do not use YouTube Premium. You will have to pay for premium. YouTube is free, and so is my channel. And if you subscribe to my channel, that too is free. Okay, it's all free for right now, anyway. So let's go for it while it's free. Lots of love, everybody. Stay safe and know you're appreciated very, very much. Toodles.